there, movie buffs! Welcome back to Yusef Reacts. I am Diana, and today we're diving into the hilarious world of Dick and Jane, the 2005 comedy that had audiences in stitches. Let's get started. First off, let's talk about the cast. Jim Carrey and Leoni shine as Dick and Jane, bringing their comedic chops to the forefront. Carrey's physical comedy combined with Leoni's wit creates a dynamic duo that keeps you laughing throughout. Now, did you know that Dick and Jane is actually a remake of the 1977 film Fun with Dick and Jane? While the original focused more on social commentary, the 2005 version takes a lighter, more comedic approach. Speaking of comedy, the movie is packed with hilarious moments and memorable one-liners. From Dick's disastrous attempts at finding a job to Jane's over-the-top schemes, every scene is guaranteed to tickle your funny bone. One of the standout aspects of Dick and Jane is its satire on corporate greed and the American dream. The film's commentary on white-collar crime and the lengths people will go to maintain their lifestyle adds a layer of depth to the comedy. And let's not forget the adrenaline-pumping heist sequence. Watching Dick and Jane turn to a life of crime to make ends meet is both thrilling and absurdly entertaining. When an affluent couple loses all their money following a series of blunders, they turn to a life of crime to make ends meet. And just like that, Globadine Corporation, the big media institution where the affluent suburbanite and the company's vice president, Dick Harper, works collapses in a grand scandal Enron style. To make matters worse, at the worst possible time, Dick's stressed-out travel agent wife, Jane, decides to quit her job. And if this isn't enough, their savings are gone, and nothing can stop Dick and Jane's downward spiral. Now, after a series of failed attempts to keep a job, the desperate and impoverished couple has only one method to stay afloat, to summon up the nerve and steal their way out of misery. However, are Dick and Jane cut out for a life of crime? The day before Globadine stock tanks a la Enron and its pension fund evaporates, the corporation's CEO and CFO set up middle manager Dick Harper to be the public face of the disaster. Jobless, and with no savings, pension, or home equity, Dick and his wife Jen sink slowly into poverty. He looks for work, as do all former Globadine executives. He even tries day labor with the relatives of their Mexican nanny. A foreclosure notice sends Dick and Jane over the edge into a life of blue-collar crime. Then, as things finally look up, the report of a looming indictment pushes Dick and Jane toward a denouement with the real criminals, the white-collar guys. In January 2000, Dick Harper Jim Carrey has been promoted to VP of Communication for his company, Globadine. Soon after, he is asked to appear on the show Money Life, where host Sim Samuels and then independent presidential candidate Ralph Nader dub him and all the company's employees as perverters of the American dream and claim that Globadine helps the super rich get even wealthier. As they speak, the company's stock goes into a free fall and is soon worthless, along with all the employees' pensions, which are in Globadine stock. Dick arrives home to find his excited wife Jane Leoni, who informs him that she took his advice and quit her job in order to spend more time with their son Billy. Dick has to break the news over dinner, instantly alarming Jane. Dick tries to think positively and tries for a few months to get a vice presidency at other corporations. After getting no job anywhere, Jane reveals that they'll end up declaring bankruptcy in the next couple of months due to their assets being made up entirely of now worthless Globadine stock. After coming to terms with the prospect of being poor, Dick and Jane both apply for low-paying jobs. After being fired from all local businesses and finding out that they have 24 hours before being evicted from their home, they both decide to turn to crime. Dick borrows Billy's squirt gun and decides to rob a local convenience store but loses his nerve and merely gets away with a slushie. After several failed attempts, they finally rob a head shop. Realizing that they get a thrill out of stealing, they begin going on nightly robbing sprees. They climb their way up the crime ladder, becoming more professional with each passing night, and eventually steal enough money to redeem the loans on their house and car, both of which were on the verge of repossession. Dick and Jane's last job is to rob a local bank by going undercover as corporate security personnel. All goes as planned until another couple who used to work for Globadine, as Carlos Jacket and Debbie Peterson Stephanie, we make an amateurish attempt to rob the bank at gunpoint. The Petersons are arrested almost as soon as they appear, while Dick and Jane escape, unharmed, though without any money. Sobered by the Petersons' fate, the Harpers decide to give up their life of crime. But Dick panics when he sees on the news that he's about to be indicted for his unwitting role in Globadine's demise. While drowning his sorrows at the local bar, Dick encounters a drunk Frank Bascom Richard Jenkins, the former CFO of Globadine, who reveals that the company's crooked CEO, Jack McAllister Alec Baldwin, siphoned off all of Globadine's assets, then dumped the entire stock, thus ruining the company while getting away scot-free with a $400 million fortune. Bascom, who is going to jail for his role in the collapse, got a $10 million bribe from McAllister to keep his mouth shut. After learning about McAllister's scheme, Dick and Jane decide to get revenge with Frank's help. He tells them that McAllister plans to transfer his $400 million in bearer bonds to an offshore account in the Caymans. All Dick and Jane have to do is intercept the transfer from inside the bank and substitute a fake, transferring the funds to another account. The plan falls apart and Dick, in anger, confronts McAllister and demands that he sign a blank check. Knowing that Dick's threats are empty, McAllister mockingly cuts him a check for $100 and leaves the bank. But Dick reveals to Jane that he planned the whole thing. Now that he has McAllister's signature, Jane, an art major in college, can forge it. The next day, as McAllister leaves his mansion, he is mobbed by reporters and former Globadine employees, all praising him for his generosity. Dick appears and hands him a prepared statement. Reading it on live television, McAllister is shocked to announce that he transferred $400 million to a trust fund to support Globadine's defunct pension plan, in gratitude to all his former employees. As Dick and Jane led the cheers from the crowd, there is nothing McAllister can say without revealing his own fraud. A news report later shows Dick and Jane delivering pension fund checks to former Globadine employees, including the now imprisoned Uz and Debbie, while reporting that McAllister's net worth has been reduced to just over $2,000. The film ends with the wealthy Harper family driving along the highway in a Volkswagen and into the sunset. While Billy is teaching his parents Spanish words, a Bentley drives up to them. In the car is Dick's friend Garth John Michael Higgins, who tells Dick he's got a great new job at a company called Enron. In conclusion, Dick and Jane is a comedy classic that delivers laughs from start to finish. Whether you're a fan of Jim Carrey's zany antics or simply enjoy a good little heist comedy, this film has something for everyone. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews and analysis. Until next time, happy watching.